He was dirt poor, laughed at by everyone in town. But after 40 years of collecting pennies, he built something no one believed was possible. Have you ever heard the saying, pennies don't matter? Well, Henry Carter's story will make you think again. If you've ever struggled, if you've been told your dream is too small, or if you just love stories that remind us how powerful patience can be, you're in the right place. So do me a favor, hit subscribe, because every week I share stories that prove even the smallest steps can change a life. The year was 1953, a dusty little town in Georgia. Henry Carter grew up in a two-room shack where the wood creaked when the wind blew and the roof leaked when it rained. His father worked sunrise to sunset in the cotton fields. His mother sewed clothes for neighbors just to keep beans and cornbread on the table. And Henry? He was the boy with shoes so thin his toes poked out the front. The boy who came to school in the same faded shirt day after day. The other kids laughed at him. Man, Henry's out here chasing pennies like they're gold. Their words stung, but Henry just kept walking, eyes on the ground, because Henry noticed something no one else cared about. Pennies, on sidewalks, in train station corners. Shiny or dull, heads or tails, it didn't matter. He picked them up every single time. At home, his mother kept a big glass jar under the bed, and when Henry dropped another penny in, she'd smile and whisper, "Baby, never overlook the small things." By the time he was 12, Henry's jar was heavy, nearly bursting with pennies. When he poured them out at the store counter, the clinking echoed like music. The shopkeeper counted. $10? 15? 20? Enough to buy Henry his very first bicycle. For the first time in his life, he didn't have to walk miles to school. He rode that bike down the dirt road, wind in his face, grinning ear to ear. And in that moment, it didn't feel like a bike. It felt like freedom. Most kids would have stopped there, but Henry didn't. At 16, he swept floors in the general store for 50 cents an hour. Every night, no matter how tired or broke he was, the first coins he set aside were the pennies. People mocked him. "You'll never be rich saving pennies, Henry." But he just smiled, because he knew something they didn't. Pennies add up. And while others wasted theirs without a thought, Henry filled jar after jar, dozens of them, hidden in the back of his closet, standing like soldiers, waiting. When his kids asked why, Henry would pat the glass and say, "Because one day, these pennies are going to build something real." Nearly 40 years passed. One summer morning, Henry loaded the jars, so many jars, they filled the bed of his rusty old pickup truck, and drove to the bank. The tellers froze when they saw him. Glass jars clinking, copper shining under the lights. It took hours. Pennies poured, stacked, and rolled until the counter was covered. And when the last coin dropped, Henry's total came to just over $5,000. Enough for a down payment on a small piece of land. On that land, Henry built a house. Not a mansion, not fancy, but a sturdy, modest home, brick by brick, paid for because of pennies. The same townsfolk who once laughed at him now drove by slowly, shaking their heads in disbelief. Henry Carter, the boy with holes in his shoes, had built a home that would shelter generations. His kids grew up inside those walls, his grandchildren played in its yard, and every time they asked him how he did it, Henry would smile and say, "It's simple. Never ignore the small things, because small things, done consistently, can change everything." So the next time you see a penny on the ground, don't walk past it, because maybe it's not just a coin. Maybe it's the start of something bigger. Thank you for listening to Henry's story. If it inspired you, please share it with someone who might need hope today. And if you'd like more stories like this, make sure you subscribe. Until next time, take care.